quite a journey to get where you are today. So take my hand, Monique. We're gonna go back in the time machine. Here we go! My goodness, here we are.
Okay.
We're in Long Island.
Oh!
Oh, look at little Monique. Oh, look at her. She's on her way to church. You grew up in Long Island, right?
Yes.
And what were you like as a kid?
Pretty much the same. I mean, my mother says this, that everyone knew Kevin, but they didn't know who my mom was. And they'd be like, oh, you're Kevin's mom. Lovely. Nice to meet you. Great. We see where he gets it from. Not really. My mom was a single mom, and so she worked all the time. So I found myself entertaining myself. I was the only child. And so I would get into my mom's clothes, and I would twirl in the mirror for myself. So to be a drag queen, to fast forward all the way this time, it's very, I would say, pivotal and right, if that makes any sense. Like, I grew up in church, and so I was fashioned to be a preacher and a pastor. I would say that drag queens are the pillars of the community. When the whole AIDS and HIV epidemic came, it was the drag queens that were saying, hey, let's go get tested. Hey, like, let's bring it back in. Let's not leave the community. Let's not forsake that. So I just feel like everything in my life from childhood on up makes very much sense why Monique Heart is who she is today.
Yeah. So how was it being that boy twirling in the mirror when the other angle of your whole existence was religion, going to church, being pointed in the direction of actually going into that as your life?
Okay, now people disagree on this, but I feel that, let me just say it like this. Growing up in church was hard because you did hear them preach on homosexuality, right? But everything around me between the ladies and the big, black women, at least black church, honey, they coming in with the hats, girl, and the whole couture, honey. It's a fashion show every Sunday. Right. And so when you touch the offering plate, even if you don't have nothing to give, just touch it and the Lord will bless. You sashayed, honey, past everyone. And so it was just that I just loved everything about these women and just wanted to emulate them in whatever way. So even though it was, I was pushed to be this pastor and everything else, I just it was the women there that I was like, oh sis, I want to be like Sister Leach or like my mom and, or this lady or that lady. And it was very much that. It's just crazy.
Right. I mean, they were giving you fashion, runway,
and church ladies are slightly shady, girl. Don't let them read, bitch. Oh, honey, they will get you right together. They're going to pray for you. They're going to say, Lord. Now, we know this is Shirley's third child, and she's not married, but we do. Oh, did you just put that in the prayer? Oh, that's a read, honey. All right.
Now, you've talked about having to go to conversion therapy.
Oh, yes.
What was that like, and how did it affect you?
Okay, so I moved to Kansas City in 2008, and they asked for I did this ministry called the International House of Prayer, IHOP, where they do 24/7 prayer. And I did this internship called One Thing out of Psalms 27. And they said, well, tell us your story, your testimony. And so I was like, I struggled with homosexuality, and they call it SSS or whatever, same-sex attraction bullshit.
Oh.
And so then after they read it or whatnot, they were like, well, when was the last time you acted out? So I had just sucked this man's dick, and girl, I will never forget, his name was Ryan, girl. I met him at TGI Fridays when I was working there. Oh, he was very cute, girl. He went to, let me not give too much, because they probably can find him. Anyway, he was very, country boy, rough trade. The shoulders was there, the dick was right. And I had just, acted out with him, I think, a month before I went. So they put me into this inner healing group called Pure Heart, where it was like restoration through the Beatitudes and all this other bullshit. Wow. My mother says it this way: eat the meat and throw out the bone. Some of the stuff, applicable. A lot of it, let's throw it in the trash. The reason that I am gay is not because my father was not there and I had an overbearing mother and this, that, and the third, for the simple fact that my friend who is in a family of 5 children, well, he's gay, so if it's a parenting issue, why ain't the rest of them homos?
Right.
Very, very that. And so it was just all of this BS. So then I did that, and then I went to the 6-month intensive one, and then I was leading that one.
The 6-month intensive one.
That one was called Living Waters.
And you were the leader at this point? You did so well.
Yes, girl, I did so well at praying the gay away, girl. Very bad. Actually, the last time I was leading the group, gag, my best friend Junior had broke up with his girlfriend. She said some shady shit to him, and he was like, look, I'm at a breaking point, and I'm going out to the club. Do you want to go? And this was like Monday night after praying the gay away with everybody else in the circle. And I was like, yeah, bitch, I'm going. And surely enough, for like 6 months, we would pray with the homos, and then me and my friend would go to the gay bar afterwards. But it was amazing to me. It was freeing. It was horrible. Like, coming out is not easy, you know.
Especially in that situation.
No, not at all. But it was amazing to be in a room with other people who identified like you, and I had never had that experience. So it was just transformative in a way.
Now, when you got to hair school, okay,
Girl.
was it that, because you've said that when you got to hair school, you had your bride picked out.
Oh, yes.
Her outfit.
All
her
of
hair
it.
look,
All
her
of
dress,
it. All of it.
And it was the people, and I'm guessing the queens at hair school, who said, girl.
So we had 2 homosexuals, Brandon and Jamar, and I will never forget them. And I was very nervous of going to hair school because I was so afraid that, oh my God, I'm gonna become a backslidden heathen and da-da-da-da. And then I was like, oh, y'all are sisters, so we ain't got nothing to worry about, you know what I mean? So I was like, are you gonna be sucking somebody's dick? Okay, good, because by this time it had been like 4 or 5 years from any male carnal activity.
You were now the leader.
Yeah, very that. I remember going outside, I will never forget this, because we would leave. So we had hair school right here, Mitsusato, and then there was a little Japanese restaurant. We would go get like day drunk. Anyway. And we came back from having a little light cocktail, and he was like, what's the tea? And I was just like, I can't come out, like I'm not trying to go to hell. And he was like, look, I've been a gay man my whole life. And he goes, I know that God loves me. And it was just in that place of constantly being affirmed by different ones that like, if he is who he says he is, then he has to love you no matter what. And he goes, did you ask to be gay? And I go, I surely didn't. Like, this is not what I want. This, you know what I mean? But it is very, very real. He goes, then you just have to go to him as you are, which took me back to Bible school, Hebrews 4, boldly come before the throne of grace, boldly asking for new mercy. So I said, well, I got to go accepting and loving all of this, not hiding it. You know, and so it was those things that really allowed me to go, I'm gay. Actually, this is another aspect, is that the girls would go, so you want to get married to a woman? And I would go, yes. And they go, no. And then I came into hair school one day, hung over from being at Missy B's, the gay bar in Kansas City. And they were like, where were you? And I was like, the gay bar. And they were like, mm-hmm. And they were just so happy and so affirming to see like my true self coming out and just going, okay, boo boo, the water is safe over here. You can be all of who you are. So it was great.